And let's go to our chairs. Come to the very edge of the chair. That's our neutral position here. So I'm starting right at the edge of the chair, which is the position that I come back to often during the class, or I move from during the class. Anytime I tell you neutral position, this is where we're coming back to. So edge of the chair, sit bones are literally right, like maybe a quarter of an inch to half of an inch to being right at the edge of slipping past the edge of the chair. Obviously, you don't want to do that. You don't want to go all the way to slipping, but you want to be really at that edge so that you have plenty of room behind you to work with. And you have also plenty of room underneath your legs to work with. Feet are hip distance apart. Feet come to parallel, and you bring them in alignment with knees and hips. If you turn your toes out, the knees are not in alignment with the hips anymore. If you turn your toes in, same. You're losing the connection of hip, knees, and feet. So that's where we want to be. Then you're looking down at your feet, and you make sure that your feet are neither past, like forward, where your weight is shifting to your heels, neither they're in towards underneath the chair, where your weight is shifting to the ball of the feet. You want to have your feet right underneath the ankles, right underneath the knees, the ankles right underneath the knees. And therefore, you want to have the shin bones perpendicular to the floor. I'm opening the foot out so you can see. Actually, the other side is going to look better. I have a new lighting here that makes me super bright. Hopefully that helps. So you want your shin bone to be in a 90-degree angle with the floor. Here, that would be off in a wider angle, and this would be in a narrow angle. You want the foot right underneath the knee and find that 90-degree angle. And you'll notice the difference as you try it for yourself, that the weight of the body is more evenly distributed through the feet when your feet are in this position versus far out or further in. Hands are resting on top of your lap. And we're going to close the eyes here to take a moment to land on our chairs, to allow the body to sink just a little heavier on the chair. And as you find that landing, I invite you to bring awareness to your breath, paying close attention to your breathing. Doesn't mean that you have to change anything about it. You're just watching. You're observing your own breathing. You're feeling your breathing. You're connecting your breathing to your body. And you allow the breath to be this extraordinary instrument that scans the body from within to without, taking the time as you follow the breath to check in with the different parts of the body and notice where there's achiness, tightness, discomfort versus areas where you feel good and at peace and open and relaxed. And not that you're judging the areas that are not feeling that well this morning. You're just watching them and acknowledging them so you have a good mapping on what's going on with your body. And that's the mindful part of this class. We call it mindful movement because instead of moving out of habit, out of repeating certain patterns that are being shown to you, you want to get into the space of being in touch with all parts of your body one at a time. Doesn't mean that you'll be able to feel your whole body all at once at all times, but you're navigating the different areas of your body and starting reestablishing a dialogue, a true communication with your body and your breath, which unfortunately most of us have lost. And it's not even an age thing. Nowadays, even kids being absorbed by being on their computers and their smartphones and tablets lose that connection to the body so fast. So you want to reestablish yourself into connecting the body, the mind, and the breath, so that the mind is not the only ruler and the controller of your life experience. You want to drop from thinking into feeling. So let's take 2 more breaths here. Hopefully through my talk, you've been able to connect a little deeper to your own body and your own breath. And let's open the eyes, and we'll start with the shoulders today. So I want you to isolate the movement from side to side. So we're going to start with the right shoulder. The left shoulder stays in place, relaxing down, and you're rotating around the right shoulder. It doesn't really matter in which direction you're rotating because we're going to go both sides. And reverse, roll in the opposite direction. And any movement we're doing, your anchor in the movement is the breath. You want to breathe all along. Anytime you catch yourself not breathing, then you stop moving, you come back to the breath. Once you reestablish the breath, you bring back the movement. One more rotation. Release, and let's go to the other side, resting your right hand on top of your right thigh, noticing a little bit what's going on in the right shoulder after moving it. And let's go to the left side. Let's roll the left shoulder, just the left shoulder, not the right. Keeping your elbow relaxed, keeping your hand relaxed. Your arm is pretty loose and relaxed. You're really focusing into the rotation of the shoulder. And we reverse, going the opposite route, the opposite direction, whichever direction you were going. You're just shifting to the other direction. And relax. Land both hands on the lap. Take a couple breaths here. Notice the differences in your shoulders. And let's go again on an exercise with the shoulders. We're going to lift this time the shoulders up to the ears and let them drop. Up, crunch up, and drop. Lift up, and drop. And one more. Lift up to the ears, and drop. Bring your right arm out to the side, shake it out from hand to elbow and shoulder. And let's go to the other side, left arm, left hand, shaking out to the left. And relax. Now let's go into the neck. Now that we've relieved the shoulders, the neck has maybe a little bit more movement to work with. So we're going to gently tilt the head from side to side. Maybe not, maybe your neck is really tight, and so moving the shoulders might have helped the shoulders, but not quite the neck yet. So be mindful, be loving and kind to yourself. Don't judge your neck for holding on all the tensions, all the turmoils and stressors of your life. And relax your face as you're tilting the head from side to side, because the more you're tensing around the neck, whether you're tensing your face or you're tensing your arms, that is pulling onto the tension of the neck and not allowing the neck to truly relax. So relax your jaw, relax your mouth, relax your eyes, and go gentle and easy, soft and slow. Trying to keep length through the cervical spine, through the neck, instead of just tilting and compressing. And next time your head is tilting out to the right, leave it there. We're going to place the right hand to the outside, to the left side of the head, like right above the ear. And then you allow the weight of the hand and arm to bring your head just a little deeper to the right. So I'm not pushing, I'm not pressing, I'm not forcing anything. I'm just adding a little weight here. And the weight not only allows the stretch to deepen, but it's also a stabilizer. So as you stabilize your head to the right, experiment with pressing your left shoulder down. And you'll feel a different kind of stretch here. You can even use the weight of your arm, bringing your arm to the side, heavy arm, and imagine that you're having a weight in your into your left hand, that you're holding on something heavy on the left hand, and that intention makes your shoulder drop a little bit lower. And bring your left hand back to your leg. Release your right hand down, and slow and easy, bring your head back up. Inhale. Exhale, tilt your head to the left, right over the shoulder. Let it settle first. No forcing. Make sure that you're not dropping the shoulders along. Keep the shoulders straight forward and down. Let your neck be comfortable. And then bring your left hand to the right side of the head above the ear. And let the weight of the hand and arm settle on your head. Feel that weight on the head, pulling a little deeper into the side neck stretch. Keep on breathing nice and deep all the way to the lowest part of the lungs. And then again, start pressing your right shoulder down. And add some weight by releasing your right arm to the side and let it drop heavier. Again, you can imagine that you're holding on a weight or something heavy with your right hand. To add that intentional weight and drop of the shoulder. One more breath here. Bringing your right hand back to your lap. Release your left hand, bring your head back to center. Find center, sit nice and tall, breathe in and out, feel both sides of the neck. And let's move the head now from side to side. Easy movement, you're not aiming to go all the way to your edge on any side. Just soft, nice and easy, loosening up, warming up the neck. Couple more, one on each side. And back to center. You're gonna bring your right hand to the outside, to the right cheek, actually try to aim to bring the base of the fingers on your cheekbone to the right. And the rest of the fingers are just resting up on your temple. And at this point, the base of your hand is either on your jaw or past your jaw, depending on the size of your hand. And we're gonna press gently and evenly into the hand with the head. So you're pressing the head to the right, into the hand, and your hand is pressing against the head toward the left. And you're finding that compression and opposite push action. Feel the effect on your neck. Hold it for another couple of seconds. And you're gonna release your hand and immediately turn your head to the right. Bring it back to center. And let's switch. Left hand goes to the left cheek. Base of the fingers to the cheekbone. Base of the palm either on your jaw or past your jaw. Fingers up on your temple. And again, you're gonna press the head into the hand into the head. You press it about 30 to 50% of your ability to really press hard the head. You don't want to go into overdoing. You just want to engage gently the neck muscles. Sometimes the tightness we have is because we're not using the neck muscles enough in the right way. And so we get this stagnating stiffness. And release, turn your head to the left. Bring it back to center. You're gonna bring your right hand to your forehead and you're gonna press your head forward into the hand and the hand into the head. Make sure you're not poking the chin forward. Keep your head in position and find a stabilizing action here, that even though you're pressing your forehead onto your hand is not allowing your head to move anywhere. Hold one more second. Release your hand, drop your chin down. And bringing your head back up. Let's go with the left hand. Bring your left hand on your forehead and start that action of pushing in opposite directions. Hand into the head into the hand. Hold it for a couple more seconds. Feel the action on the back of the neck. Again, you want to push just about 30 to 50% of your capacity. Release your hand, tilt your chin forward and down. And bringing your head back up. You're going to bring your hands behind your head. You clasp your fingers, you place your hands not to the base of the neck, but midway to the mid back of the head. And you're going to press your head against your hands, hands against your head. Keep your neck long. 2 more breaths here. Then release your hands out and tilt your chin up. Stretch through the front of the throat and then bring your head back to center. Good. Let's take a few rolls of the head, not all the way to tilting your head back. You're rolling from the front, tracing circles to the tip of the nose in front of you. Keep things loose and relaxed around your head and on your face. And reverse, go the opposite direction. You can even close your eyes here as I'm doing for a few more rolls. And come back to center, back to neutral. Hands lift forward. Give a few rotations to the wrists. Make sure your arms are not too high. That's hard on the shoulders, neither too low. Just find the right distance that your shoulders are down and relaxed, but your arms are kind of floating up. And then reverse the rotation of the hands around the wrists. Stretch the fingers. And relax. You're going to use your right hand, all of it with your fingers closed. Let me come closer so it's easier to see. And you're going to bring your hand to your left hand, all the way to including the thumb here. And we're going to press. With the right hand, you pull your toes back, your fingers back, and your left hand is pushing forward. My elbow is bent. I'm not overextending. I'm bending the elbow, but keep it at that same distance. Don't push far in. And feel the stretch on your hand and your wrist. And then we're going to go opposite way. You're going to tilt that left hand down and bring that right hand in front of the top of the hand towards the wrist. And you're going to press gently in. So that's the angle you're going to get here. And release the other side. Left hand is going to go in front of all the fingers to the base of the fingers out to the thumb. And you're going to press those fingers back. And breathe. And then curl the right hand down and shift your left hand to the top of the hand and press in. And release the pressure, hands together, clasp the fingers, rotate your palms away, stretch forward. Inhale, stretch the arms up, gently lengthen your back. Maybe even think about rolling your sit bones back and arching a little bit. And then exhale, round in hands to the thighs, still with the intertwine of the fingers. Inhale, roll up, roll the hips, extend your arms up. And exhaling down. 2 more. Breathe in, stretch up. Breathe out and lower. If you cannot have straight arms, then you can bend the elbows and go to your own degree of lifting the arms up, but still opening the back, rolling the shoulders back. Exhale, round in. And release the bind of your hands. Hands resting on your lap. Take a couple of breaths here. Feel your back, feel your shoulders, feel your arms and hands. And let's go into accessing the spine in different ways. We're going to start with a gentle waving of the spine from side to side. There's a drop of the shoulders from left to right. And a bending of the spine from mid-spine out to the upper spine as the head is tilting along from right to left. One more. Back to center, sliding your hands to the top of the knees. Spinal waves from arching. I'm gonna turn this side so you can see, but you stay in the same position. Edge of the chair, hands to the knees, and you arching the back, rolling the shoulders back, and then rounding in. And all starts from the rolling of the hips forward and back. And you add to this the support of the feet pressing down, pulling away into the floor. Breathe in and breathe out. As I'm breathing out and I'm rounding my back, I'm pulling the belly in, squeeze it in, deep, deep. 2 more. Be very mindful, following your own breath. That's what's going to determine how fast you're going. And back to neutral. Find your neutral position again. Make sure everything is back where it needs to be. And we're going to take 3 rolls on one side and 3 rolls on the other side. If you get dizzy rolling your spine around, go slower, be more mindful of the movement and the pace you're going in. And another thing that can help also is gazing at something that is steady in front of you, that is not moving. So let's go one direction, 1 roll, 2, and 3, big rolls, and shift, other direction, 1, 2, and 3. And back to neutral. Now into twisting the spine, we're going to use the arm also. You're going to reach forward with your right arm, reach out, 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 hinging from the hips as if you were going to grab something far in front of you. Then you lift up. And from that neutral position here, meaning that your spine is in its initial position, is not leaning back, neither leaning forward, you're going to start opening the shoulder, the arm, the head. I'm using my left hand pressing down into the left thigh to help the twist. So therefore my left leg is engaged firmly. If not, my leg would open out here as I'm pressing into my hand. Stay here and then sweep around, down and forward. Again, stretch forward, press down into your feet, reach, inhale up, and then start peeling and opening out as you exhale. Stay and breathe. Swinging the arm down, inhale, reach forward and up. Exhale, start opening and twisting. Arm out and back And releasing down, come back to neutral. Feel the right side of the body, probably feels a little or very much different from the left side. And let's switch. Extend your left arm forward, hinging from the hips, pressing into your feet. Lift up, stretch up, and then start opening, pressing into the right hand slightly toward the inside of the leg. And open and twisting back. Your left arm stays at shoulder height for such. Your head is looking back. You breathe in and out here. And then you soften and release down, swinging forward. Soft gaze, inhale, stretch forward and reach. Press back up. And start opening out and back. And follow your breathing. See where your breath naturally wants to go, honor it. Make sure that at no point you're holding your breath. And swing. Last one, reach forward. Extend out, lift up, lengthen through the left side. Start rotating and opening back. Stay and breathe, keep the shoulders down. And release that left hand, left arm down. Come back to neutral, resting your hands on your lap. Maybe you shake a little bit to make sure you're not holding anything tight. And relax. Good. Let's go on to the feet area. So we're going to lift the heels up and down. And when you're lifting the heels up and down, at first it might be a small lift, especially if your ankle joints are a little achy and tight and stiff. And then as it starts loosening up a little bit, then you lift a little higher. You barely touch the floor with your heels as you lower. You're not completely relaxing here. You keep that upward lift, like a happy horse jogging or trotting. Up and down, and that is going to create a pulse into the low legs. You're kind of pumping action. So you might feel pretty quick, tired in your calves, feeling that the muscles as they activate create that sense of I cannot do it anymore. Hopefully you're not going to be cramping. If you are, stop, flex the foot and allow that area to stretch. Couple more, and then lift the heels high, 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 and stay pressing into the ball of the feet. Hands on top of the knees, and you're going to shift forward, lean forward a bit, and press down into the legs with your hands as you keep the heels up. And that gives some compression here and some action on the bones, resistance in the bone area. And then releasing back, release your heels down. Take a breath or two here. And we're going to go opposite way. You're going to now lift your toes and sole of the feet as far up as you can, feeling the stretch to the back of the calf. And now it's the front muscles, the muscles along the shin bones that get activated and contracted to be able to lift the toes up. And we go for a few more. Again, you might start feeling that warmth into the lower legs. Keep on breathing. Lift the toes up and hold, press into the heels and breathe. Try to spread your toes out as much and as far apart as you can. And then relax the toes, release the feet down, land, relax for a breath or two, feel your low legs. Gonna roll the feet from inner feet, the knees are gonna come in, to outer feet, the knees are gonna go out. So you're rolling from inner edge to the outer edge of the feet. Rock your boat and allow your knees to follow. This is to find the full mobility of the ankles and the movement of the feet. And that's something, again, that is really hard to do with shoes. And that's why you will lose the ability to be that flexible in the feet. But they're meant, that's why we have feet that are not just one piece. There's all those little bones in the feet from the ankle down into the toes that are connected with strong connective tissue. That's why for some, you might have some fascia underneath the feet that can become a little painful. And it's called fasciitis, actually. Plantar fasciitis. And that's an inflammation of that connective tissue to the sole of the feet. And to avoid any kind of inflammation in the feet is really important to give them mobility, to allow them to move in all directions, to have blood flow down there. And again, the shoes don't allow that. Couple more. And back to center. Now we're going to lift the heels up a little bit, not as high as we did in the previous exercise. And you're going to rotate around the ankles. So the sole, the ball of the feet are steady down. That's where you're pressing against. And your heels are going up and down in circular motion. And reverse, roll in or roll out if you were rolling in previously. Spread out and rotate the ankles back in. And back to center, back to neutral. Give it a break here. Take a couple of breaths. Notice all the sensations around your feet and ankles. Clasping fingers behind your right hand as we tilt forward from the hips, not reaching from the back, but the whole torso is coming forward. To grab behind the leg, press down to the left foot, push and lift. And we're gonna rock forward and back. I'm gonna go sideways to this side because the light being on this side, you might see me better this way. And we're gonna rock the boat forward and back. Here, you're really using the weight of the torso versus the weight of the leg to find that equilibrium between the two. So the arms need to be completely straight so that there's a true use of the leg weight versus the torso weight. If I'm bending here, I'm using my abs a lot more and my back. If I'm straight out, I can completely relax my belly and just use the pendulum motion of my body from the weight of the leg on one end and the weight of the straight torso on the other end. And then I'm pressing into the left foot, especially when I'm tilting forward. I feel that increase of weight on the left foot from which I can push myself back. And that is helping and supporting the pendulum action here. And back to a neutral point here, a center point where I can hold without making much effort because I'm balancing out the weight in opposite directions to an optimum point. And from here, we're gonna engage a little bit of muscular action. You're gonna bend the elbows to bring the leg to the chest and tilt that chest forward. And that's on an inhale. And then you're gonna exhale, come back to relaxing. Breathe in, pull in. Breathe out, stretch away. Breathe in, pull in. Breathe out, stretch away. And one more, breathe in, pull in. Maybe hold it a little bit here, engage your core. Use your arms, elbows up to the side. And release out into hanging out. From here, I'm gonna come back to facing you so you can see me. From here, we're gonna go into hip rotations. Here I'm using my arms and my core, but my torso is still tilting back. And I'm rotating my leg as wide as I can, as wide as my hip is allowing, keeping my leg relaxed all the way to the glute. Couple more. And reverse. Roll in if you were rolling out. Roll out if you were rolling in. Last two. Back to center, flex your right foot, stretch the leg out as far as you can. If you're low down here, move your hands along your leg to the back of the leg to closer to your glutes so you can still support. Here I have it really low. If I had my hands further forward, my torso would do that, right? So I'm moving my hands accordingly to how stretching my leg is to behind. If your leg is flexible, you move your hands up toward the knee. If you're super flexible, you move up toward the foot. Make sure that you find the distance that works for you. And then relax. Leg, foot, and bring it back down. Sit up. Take a moment here. Shake your legs out using your hands. And back to that neutral position on the edge of the chair. Feet hip distance apart to parallel. Breathe in and breathe out. And let's switch. I'm going to intertwine the fingers behind the left leg, hinging from your hips. Grab, press into the right foot, push, lift, and come up. Find the initial point here and start your pendulum, rocking the body forward and back. And here again, for those who are on this call right at the beginning, I have a jackhammer just outside my house on the street. They're doing some road work. So that's why you're hearing that noise. It's not even a sound, it's noise in the background. Which, too bad, because obviously with a nice day like today, it would have been nice to keep the door open, the windows open. But the sound was, or the noise was really, really loud in that case. So let's go for a few more rocking movements here. Forward and back. Mindful of your body in the rocking to make sure you're not over engaging anything. If you feel tension in your back, like your back is tensing up and muscles contracting as well as your belly, that's because you haven't completely trusted the weight of your leg. You're not using fully your straight arms and your torso shifting back to create this harmonious balance and equilibrium between the leg and the torso. Couple more. Back to that spot in between where you could just hang and stay here if you wanted for a while. And from this initial neutral way of staying in position, we're gonna fold in, knee towards chest, chest towards knee using the arm. Bend the elbows out, bring the chest forward and the knee up, and pull away and find neutral again. Inhale, pull in. Exhale, extend out. If in your breathing, it's easier to exhale as you squeeze in, do so, and inhale as you go away. That's your pattern. Choose from one or the other, but making sure that you're aligning one part of the breath to one part of the movement and the other part of the breath to the other part of the movement. My foot is completely relaxed. I'm gonna go for two more here. We're building a little muscle in the arms. Pull out and stay. Stay in this position that is self-supportive, and we're gonna start rotating the leg. Obviously here you need to use your arms, but try to keep your torso in position And try to keep your leg completely relaxed all the way to the foot and toes. And reverse, roll out the opposite direction. Back to center, flex the left foot, stretch the leg out. Notice and observe if you need to slide your hands down towards the glute for lower leg without compromising your back, or you can keep it where it is to the initial point right underneath the knee or above the knee in this direction, or if you're more flexy, further up and stretch up. And breathe, keep in all of these variations your foot flex. One more breath here, and then relax your leg and the foot. Come to landing, and come back to your neutral seated position. Shoulders on top of hips, head and ears on top of shoulders. Take a breath or two here. Deep in, long out. Hands forward, palms together, right in front of the chest, not in front of the face, neither in front of the belly, in front of the chest. And we're going to use a swimming motion. So you open your arms out, rotate the palms down, rotate the palms back, and sweep them forward and back together. Open out, turn your palms down, turn your palms back to the side and down and over. Open out, turn down, push the water back, and swing them forward. If you have arms to your chair, you'll have to do it wider. Open out, and you'll have to go here. Bring them forward, palms together. Two more. Open out, turn your palms down, turn your palms back. So here I have an internal rotation of the arms. And when I'm swinging forward, I'm neutralizing arms and shoulders. Then you open out, broad arms. You rotate your palms down, you rotate your palms back, full rotation of the arms. Last one. Come forward and stay. Take a couple of breaths here, just with your hands together in front of the chest. Feel the weight on your arms. Gonna open the toes out, open the feet out, and bring your feet to parallel a little wider. And you're gonna bring the arms up, and then come through the front of the body and drop down. Inhale, lift up, and drop, as if you were chopping wood. Inhale, exhale. Breathe in and out. Breathe in and out. Active legs pressing into the floor, especially to push yourself back up so that you're not using your back. I'm pressing down into the feet when I'm reaching forward and down to lift the torso up. 3 more. And last, inhale up. Exhaling down, inhale up and stay. Grab your left wrist with your right hand, press down into the feet and tilt out to the right. I'm pulling with my right hand, my left arm, and feel the stretch into the rib cage. Here, check in. Make sure you're not rounding and collapsing forward. And no need to overstretch back, because that can be a little achy on the back. You want to find right the side stretch, so that you feel the stretch on the left side of the body even right in that side. You don't want to feel it to the front, neither to the back. And then come back up. Release and change. You're grabbing your right wrist with your left hand If, depending on the length of your arm, you might want to grab a little lower on your forearm, whatever works well for you. If you're not able to bring your arms that high up, you can bring them here. But as you tilt to the side, it's still a side tilt. You're not going forward. So find your best spot here. Press down into the feet. Don't relax your legs like this. Press down. Keep your knees, your shin and thigh in alignment. And come back up. Releasing both hands together. Come down to prayer. Place your hands right in the center of the chest. You can even anchor your thumbs right into the chest center. And we're going to press the hands together, elbows out. Press, press, press. Then press the feet down and press the glutes, squeeze the butt cheeks together. Squeeze the belly. And open out. Toes out, arms out. Bring back in. Feet to parallel, hands in prayer, anchor your thumbs, press in, press down into the feet, activate your legs, squeeze the butt cheeks together, contraction deep in, exhale, open your toes out, open and spread your arms out, expand, find spaciousness, close in, hands together, elbows out, press. Start contracting the muscles from the feet to the calf to the thigh, from the thigh to the butt cheeks. Everything squeezing in. Squeeze the belly, squeeze the pelvis, squeeze the hands together. Keep on breathing. Exhale, relax. Toes rotate out, arms out, spread out. And last one, turn the toes into parallel. Hands together at the chest, press the palms together, squeeze, press the feet down, squeeze into your low legs, upper legs, squeeze the butt cheeks together, and breathe, contract all the way to the core of the belly, to the pelvis muscles. You can even, for this last, squeeze your face really tight, close your eyes, close your mouth, squeeze it all, and relax, open out. Spread out and release. Hands down, bring your feet back to parallel, heels in, toes in, bring your feet hip distance apart again, find neutral. And feel your body after all that tension that we created through deep contraction. Feel the relief when the body lets go and relaxes. Deep inhale and long exhale. Bringing your hands to the outside of the legs. So right hand goes to the outside of the left leg and left hand goes to the outside of the right leg. I'm crossing my arms. So depending the length of your arms, the reach, you're going to go lower down, further up, or a little further up. In whichever way you want to cross your arms, inhale here, and exhale, you're going to roll your hips back and start rounding your back, dropping your head down, and spreading the shoulders apart, the back of the shoulders. And here, that's when you're using your legs and hands. Press down into the feet. Keep your legs in position, and your hand action is wanting to pull the legs in, and your legs action is to spread the legs out. And you find that equilibrium between the two, which allows the space between the shoulder blades to broaden out. And soften the action of pull and press, and open to soften up. Do not uncross your arms. Try to bring the elbow level of the arms to match so that you can bend the forearms out. For some of you, that might be your stretch. For others, you can maybe bring it closer in. For some of you, you might be able to bind this position. From here to there, to maybe here, to maybe final here. And that will really depend on how tight your shoulders are. So whichever of the three positions you're in, I'm gonna take the mid route here to demo, and you're gonna gently slide elbows and arms up and down, not too high. You're going about an inch, inch and a half from the initial position up, inch, inch and a half from the initial position down. So you're in a range of motion of maximum 4 inches total from up to down. You soften the shoulders. Another position here is you grab your thumb with you wrap your right hand around the left thumb. Couple more. Find kind of a midpoint, unwrap, out, and shake it down. And let's go for the other side. So you're gonna bring your left hand to the outside of the right leg. Swing your right arm on top and grab the opposite leg with your right hand. Try to find your initial position here. Start the activation of the legs versus your hands. And then round in and back, drop your chin. Start opening the space between the shoulder blades. And now get really active into the legs wanting to open out versus your hands pulling the legs in. And so ideally you stay in the same initial position, but there's an action in the opposite direction that increases the spreading of the space between the shoulder blades. You can check for yourself, release the action of the hands and feel the upper back. And then activate your hands against your legs and spread the shoulder blades apart. Push the center of the chest back, push the navel back into the spine. Couple more breaths here. And then soften the press and pull and stretch to come back up. Bring your elbows on top of each other, cross at the elbows, bend. See if you're really crossing well where you're supposed to cross. If they're further down, you won't be able to bend the same way. If they're further up, you'll still be able to cross actually with more ease, but ideally to start with, you're aiming to crossing at the elbows. So here that would be your first position. If you're really tight in the shoulders, closer in, back of the hands towards touching, or left hand goes fast and rest the fingers into the inside of the right palm, or another one that I gave while we were already moving, that you can grab your right thumb, wrap your left hand onto the right thumb, and that gives you also a deep stretch. So whichever of this position you're in, again, I'm gonna take a midway here. You're gonna slide the elbows up and down into that range of about 4 inches. Inch to inch and a half up, so that could be between the full range of motion between 3 and 4 inches. Up and down. Honor what your shoulders are telling you. If this is too much of a movement, make it tinier to an inch, inch and a half range of motion. And breathe. Couple more. Softening to a midpoint here where your shoulders can drop, unwrap. Open out and shake them down. And relax. We're gonna do 2 spinal waves going all the way down because I cannot believe, but it's already a little past 11. So we wanna have time today to standing positions. But bring your hands to the knees and we're gonna curl in and round and come forward, nice and smooth. Imagine that you're a wave on the ocean rolling up, curling in, down, Stretching up and away. Pressing hands onto the knees. Exhale, round in. Relax all around. Dive forward, stretch away and lift. And last one, roll in. Dive. Push away. And lift. Stay to center. Shake arms. Shake shoulders. Shake one leg. Shake the other leg. Shake it all. Come back to sitting. Hands on top of your lap. Close your eyes. And breathe. Come back to the beginning of this session where we assessed how the breath was doing, how the body was doing. So let's do full circle to landing in that same spot, but hopefully with a different set of sensations and perception of our own body and breath. Notice if you've gained a little more fullness and depth into your breath. If the breath is more fluid, less hectic, so that you're now into calmer currents of breath, imagining the difference between a rough ocean versus a soft river stream. So hopefully you're in that soft, steady, lazy river with deep depth into your breath and broad breath, feeling the expansion out from within the body, out through the rib cage, expanding out. And find that softening, sweet relief when you exhale and the rib cage softens back in. So observe if you have more space to breathe in, if your body has been able to release some of the tension, tightness, and stiffness, to become looser, more flexible, and more open to receive the breath fuller. Relax your weight a little deeper onto your chair. Just allow the shoulders to drop maybe a little lower. And then relax the weight of your legs all the way into the earth, through the connection of your feet to the floor. And now feel, hopefully, a deeper sense of safe grounding. Feeling stable, steady, with no need to overprotect yourself, neither contract and restrict access to anything. Feel your whole body supported by the earth and the chair. And in that support, soften a little deeper and let the breath become smoother. In that space, I'm going to bring one hand to the chest and then bring the other hand on top of that first hand. Feel first the connection of the hand with the chest, feel the warmth, feel the touch. And then slightly pressing into the chest with your hands, we're going to rub in circular motion. We're going to roll in circles. And because you're pressing into the chest, you're moving that superficial flesh and skin that is laying over and on top of the rib cage. And so you're gliding and circling and massaging your heart space here, all across the chest. Breathe in this heart hug. Breathe into the sensation of holding yourself from the warmth of your hands and giving yourself a gentle chest massage here. Which is really good to pacify your nervous system. But that's also an area where we have a very important gland, the thymus gland, which is a big essential ingredient in the health of our immune system. So simple stimulation here of that space into relaxing and softening, letting go of the fight and flight response that we're on most of our days, whether we're in real danger or our body and mind are perceiving danger through the overactive mind that creates worry and fear and anxiety and anger. All those things create a chemical response that is directly linked to the nervous system. So this gentle and easy chest massage is a great access to some sort of a switch, to switch the nervous system back into relaxed, peaceful, and joyful mode. It's a reset. Couple more rolls. Then stop. And we're going to switch the hands to cup over our eyes. Take a few breaths in the softening of the eye that now are not being stimulated by the external world. There's a little bit of shade behind the hands. There's the softness, replenishing, and nourishment of dark. Because light is overstimulating for all the nerves and the sensors in our eyes. So giving a little break here to your eyes. And now we're ready to release the hands down, reopen the eyes to the world, re-enter our day to finish this class together. So I'll come to you. I'll stop the recording. And